Hello everyone, today I will show you a new kit from MiniArt T-60 early series. This is a new tool kit, and this is a kit with interior, so there are all internal parts represented in this kit. As you see, the box is not very big. Rather small. What's more, there are some pictures of the assembled tank. As you see, the interior is nice reproduced. Let's look what's inside the box. There is a manual instruction, typical for MiniArt colorful booklet, A4 format, and two bags with gray spruce. As you see, the spruce are packed together in the bag. But I have a lot of MiniArt kits, and every part come in great shape and undamaged, so I think that this time it will not change. As you see, this kit is rather small. This is the floor of the lower hull. So let's see the instruction, and after it I will show you the plastic parts. Okay, and this is the instruction sheet. As you see, it is printed in nice quality paper. On the first page we have some basic information about this kit. The total parts count of 482. It's rather big amount of parts for this small kit. 402 plastic parts, 78 PE parts, 2 clear parts, decal sheet for 11 variants. That's a good news. Everyone should find some interesting paint scheme. There are a few of them. As you see, there are Russian green and winter camo whitewash. Next we have the sprue map and the color chart for the Vallejo, Hambro, Mr. Color, Testors and Ammonic paints. So it's a big variety of paints showed here. On the next page we have another sprue map for the exterior parts, and we start for the floor and the driver compartment. As you see, this kit contains the engine, and the engine is really nice detailed. As you see, there are a lot of parts, so the interior will look really tidy, I think. We have the separate track links, 82 for one track. I like the MiniArt tracks. They always look really fine, in my opinion. And next we have the turret with the interior. The turret is really small, so there are not a lot of parts needed to build it. And the fenders and that's all. We also have a PE cover for the engine deck if you want to build the winter vehicle. And there are another paint schemes, some three winter camouflage and Russian green. What's more interesting, we have some captured tank, this one, and there are also tank used in the German army. So as you see, the variety of the camouflage options is really wide, and everyone will find something interesting. Now let's see the plastic parts. Let's see on the parts on the first back. First of all, it is a protective cardboard for the P parts. They are thin, and they also have the protective film, which is nice, and protect the parts. Pretty cool. Next we have a sprue with the external parts, the top of the hull with nice tooth details on the turret ring, the radiator, turret part, a main gun nicely drilled out, and the MG also. What's more, the parts are made very well, and they are well detailed, as you see, for example here. All rivets looks fine, but some parts are really small. MiniArt is known from it, and you will be very careful while working with these small parts. Just watch watch out not to lose them. Next we have the hull sides, also with nice details. These parts have only 4 pin marks, but I think it will be another big deal to fill them and sand. Next we have the sprue with the return rollers. As you see, they are really small, but definitely well made, with 2 attachment point with the sprue. Next we have a small sprue with some tiny details, and the front lamp. the turret base with weld details. Now you can see it, very well made, and it's a really small turret, to be honest. It's a compression with my hand, something like 148 or 172 scale, not 145, 135. And what is important, there is no injection pin marks inside, which is good news. Next we have some front or rear armor plate with some rivet details molded on, also looking really cool. The sprue with some interior details, the radio, fire extinguisher and other details. As you see, the parts are very clean and sharp made, but they have a free attachment point with the sprue, and they are rather rather big, so it will require a lot of attention to cut them off from the sprue and clean. But I think MiniArt do this to protect the parts during the shipping. The wheels also very small, but well made as rest of the parts. What's important there in this kit, we have a few types of return rollers. You can see and compare, they are different. So it is important to choose the correct return roller to paint that you will make. And the front part of the exterior, whole exterior, again really nicely made weld details, and the hatch. The sprue are the same like I showed you previously. This is the sprue with other turret parts, and the big hatch. Here we have a big injection pin mark to remove if you want to leave this hatch open. And the biggest sprue contain the whole parts, the shovel, the gun mantlet, some dry sprocket covers, nicely detailed, and the pretty cool made floor of the vehicle with sharply made details molded on it. And this is the interior. Look, really nicely done part. The fenders are really thin and without injection pin marks, with some details molded on both sides, which is a really nice feature in my opinion. The only bad thing is here, look how many attachment points. It will be really hard to cut off and clean up, and not to, break and destroy these parts. So in my opinion it will be good to change the stowing cable on the copper wire or something like this. You need to just cut off this part and replace this with the wire. The final effect will be much better in my opinion. Now let's look on the second back. Okay, let's see the second back. As you see, there are the screws with the parts, decals and clear screw. Decal and clear parts are separately packed. The clear screw contains only 2 parts. As you see, the front headlight part and the rear light, nicely done and good looking part. The decals are very well made too. They are thin and well printed, without any issues, what I see. And the sprue with the engine. It's a smart move. The engine comes from 2 halves, so the injection pin marks will be invisible after assembly. As you see, the part is looking very well. This is the sprue with the suspension parts, the swing arms, sprocket wheel and some other details. And the biggest sprue in this kit, also with the parts for the interior. This is the radiator with nice texture, the ammo containers for the machine gun, this is the driver seat, made as 1 part, and some other tiny details. As you see, the kit is very well detailed and rather complex. And the last, Here are the sprue with the tracks. As you see, they are link and length. Every single link needs to be cut off from the sprue and clean up. It will be a little bit time consuming, but I'm sure that the final effect will be worth of this time. I worked with T-54 and SU-122 tracks from MiniArt, and both was very well made, and the final effect was very cool. Okay, that was the last part. Now let's conclude. In my opinion, this new MiniArt kit is a really good proposition for World War II Soviet armor fans. As previously released MiniArt kits with interior, it is rather complex with big amount of parts, because almost 500 parts for rather tiny vehicle is really much, in my opinion, but it allows to build a very detailed and accurate kit with straight from the box, without any aftermarkets. The parts are well made. They are molded very clean and crisp. The only one, not the best thing, are the connection. The tiny parts with the sprue are rather big and hard to cut off and clean up, but with some patience it is possible to do, I'm sure. I will build this kit in near future, so I think I will do the build review, and I will be able to say a little more about this kit. On this, now I can say that is the best T-60 on the market, because the RPM product is much worse than this one. This is a new toolkit, so the quality is really nice. The variety of paint schemes are also good, and nice to see 11 paint schemes and so much decals to do them. So I think that this kit will please a lot of modelers who want to build the T-60 model. And what's more, thank you for watching, and see you on my next episodes.